Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Sham says this is Krishna Karnamrita class, Adhika Mas 2026. We're discussing Krishna Karnamrita, we're on verse number 73. And this verse, Bilvamangala, or you can say Radharani or Lord Chaitanya or Samandri or many different personalities can be speaking this verse, which emphasizes the glories of Krishna's effulgence, his eyes, his face, and his food. And we started off yesterday describing his eyes were called Vilochan Tarak, was it? Taraka Vilochan. His pupils of his eyes are shining like bright stars twinkling in the evening sky. The evening sky is the dark complexion of Krishna's face, and the twinkling eyes are the anurag, intense loving attachment he has to Radharani, which is irrepressible and coming out expressed through his what we call twinkling eyes or taraka vilochan, and they're extremely aviram. Aviram, Ram means satisfying, pleasing, and also amorous. Abhirama means amorous. So Krishna's glances are very satisfying, very pleasing, and full of amorous intentions. In other words, if Krishna looks at you, you fall in love with him. That's why people are careful not to go to temples. As we have darshan of Radha Vallabha, or Radha Raman, or Banki Vihari, or Radha Shamsundar, or Radha Damodar, or Radha Govinda, or Radha Vrindavan. If you actually have darshan, they will steal your heart. That's what Rupa Goswami says in Bhakti Rasamrita. He even warns people. He said, be careful, don't go to Vrindavan. Everyone's telling on the internet, and so many acharyas and Goswamis from Vrindavan are traveling around the world giving Bhagavad Saptas and encouraging and inducing and trying to attract and enchant everyone to come to Vrindavan, come visit Vrindavan, see Vrindavan once, go around Govardhan Hill, see what happens, you die or whatever. Your sister died? No. She went around Govardhan Hill. First time. She's alive, huh? She's one of the lucky ones. She survived. Now only we can wait and see if she gets to mercy. Days are counting. She has 79 days to wait for the mercy. I told her, if you do Gautam Parikramā, in a year and a half your desire will be fulfilled. I gave a little extra boost. Ashirvad. So now she has a calendar, 179, 178. Let's see. So, Ananta's Babaji's commentary on this verse, he quotes, of course, first Krishna's Kaviraj. He wrote a commentary. Everyone knows he wrote Govinda Lila Amrita, which is the Astakaya Lila of Radha and Krishna. He also wrote Chaitanya Charitamrita. Most people don't know that he wrote a commentary in Sanskrit on this book, Krishna Karnamrita, and it's been translated and commented by Ananta Babaji. So he's, in his meditation, Krishna's Kaviraj. Of course, Krishna's Kaviraj has a lot of access to Krishna Lila because he's what we call Nitya Parishad. He's an eternal family member of Radha and Krishna. He has a feminine form, a female form in the Lila in Apricot Lila of Radha and Krishna in the spiritual world, and his name is what? Her name is Kasturi Manjari. Because why? Why? She's very fragrant. Kasturi means what?
Musk.
musk. It's described in Puranas that girls in Swargaloka smell like lotus flowers. So that's a natural perfume. Their bodies naturally smell like lotus flowers. But in Goloka Vrindavan, this manjari, Kasturi manjari, smells like musk, which is more captivating. It's called Mrigamata. Mriga means deer or animal, some kind of deer or ox or some kind of animal. Lives in the northern regions of Tibet and places like that, in cold climate. And from its navel, this male animal produces a very aromatic herbal scent, which is called musk, which is highly valued. It's very costly, like 10 grams of pure musk oil costs like 5 lakhs or something. Because you only get the musk oil if you get the dead body of the musk. Because there's a gland in his belly button, so they take it out and extract the oil from that. It's like we have gallbladder inside that has some secretes, whatever, gall fluid, you know.
It stores bile juice.
It stores bile and secretes, you know, different juices for digestion, all that stuff. So this gland has this liquid inside which they make kasturi or musk out of. It's very, very costly. When you go in the store in Vrindavan and buy oil, it says musk oil. It's 1,001% chemicals. You go to Chandi Chowk, Gulab Singh oil wall, you can get 10 milliliters of musk oil for 5 lakhs. So if you have a little extra cash. His customers mostly come from UAE, Saudi Arabia, because they're rich people, and it says to have aphrodisiac qualities also, which means it excites your romantic inclinations. So Kasturi has 2 reasons why her name is Kasturi. One is she's very fragrant, and the second reason is she arouses Radharani's erotic tendencies to serve Krishna in amorous love. It's called Shringar Rati. So that's why her name is Kasturi Rati. It's Kasturi Manjari. So the name has a meaning, deep meaning. So she's writing the purport, so she knows what she's talking about, and she's saying that this verse of 73 is about Rasalila. And this is what the gopis, this is what Radharani is seeing when Krishna comes to Rasalila. So Radharani says, well, I didn't read the verse on it, did I? No. Maybe yesterday I did. Tadidam upanatam tamal nilam tarla vilochan targa aviramam mudita vaksha chandra bimbam Bukarita Venu Vilasi Jivatame. 73. This person approaching me appears to be dark blue in color like a tamal tree. He has charming eyes which resemble stars. He's moving restlessly, and his shining face, it looks like the moon, is overflowing with delight. Abhiram. His face, Vaksha Chandra Bimbam, radiates like the rising moon, and he's sportively sounding his flute. Mukarta Venu Vilasi. Vilasi means sports, actually means love sports. So he's playing seductive music on his flute, because the flute can do anything. What do I mean by that? There's one rag called Mala rag. There's many ragas that Krishna plays on his flute. So one raga Krishna plays, clouds form. Another raga Krishna plays, it rains. Another raga Krishna plays, the birds start singing. Another raga Krishna plays, the water freezes in the lakes. Another raga Krishna plays. The Yamuna, instead of going from Himalayas, from Kalinda mountain range, the Yamuna starts in Kalinda mountain range and goes to the ocean, Bay of Bengal. Before that, instead of flowing towards the ocean, when Krishna plays his raga, Yamuna flows back up the mountain, backwards. So Krishna plays a raga to incite amorous love in the hearts of the gopis. He's so specific when he plays a raga, he puts the name of each gopi in the raga. This one's for Radharani. And no one hears that raga except Radharani. So she has a special ear for that raga, and Krishna plays it just like we have in this world. We all have experience of music. And say, for example, just four guys are riding in a car. The radio's playing. And one song comes on. One guy goes really crazy about something. He said, all right. He started. The other three guys go, well, that song doesn't do anything for them. But this song is very important for this guy. Because this song, triggers, the sound triggers some memory at some time he was with someone, and this song was played, and they sang, and they enjoyed and played, and this time. So when he hears this song, the memory is unlocked, and so that's his favorite song. The other guys, what's your favorite song? Yeah, it's my favorite song. Everybody responds to their favorite song a different way. Your favorite song puts me to sleep. Your favorite song, you start jumping and dancing and smiling and feeling really good. Singing along, you know the words by heart. Jaya Radha Madhava, okay, I'm in, count me in. So that's like when Krishna plays his flute. One song for Radharani, that's her favorite song, that favorite raga. When she hears it, oh, Krishna is calling me for us. And when he comes, it says Krishna comes. Tadidam upanatam tamal nilam. Upanatam means he comes. He comes. I see him, he's approaching. Here he comes. He's the beloved of my life. That's written here, but it's not in Sanskrit. Let's look at this translation. This one's a little bit added on, but okay. This person approaching me, he's charming eyes. I said all that already. So let's look at the commentary where we started at Krishna Karnamrita. So Radharani sees the Krishna's coming to the Raslila. And what does he look like? We read a little bit about that before. And his eyes look like blue lotus flowers. And he looks like, when he's with the gopis, they look like golden creepers wrapped around the dark tamal tree. So the gopis surrounding Krishna. Krishna's a tamal, we say tamal Krishna. He's surrounded by these golden creeper-like gopis. So now they compare Krishna, the moon, with Krishna Chandra. Oh, so the idea is that it's not, sometimes Krishna is called Krishna Chandra. His name is Krishna Chandra. I think it's, some of you know. It's your brother, I think. So it's a nice name, Krishna Chandra Das, but it's a terrible comparison. Because we want to compare Krishna to someone, but he's incomparable. You can't compare him to anything. So then, Krishna's Karaj just says, he's like the moon, because the verse says, what does it say? Vaksha Chandra Bimban. His Vaksha, his face, is shut like the moon. It's shining like the orb. Bimba means the orb, the radiance of the moon. But Krishna's face, the moon is not full every night. How many nights is it full?
One a month.
One a month. The rest of the time it gets small. It disappears on Amavasya. And it's so skinny. So Krishna's face is always shining, always full, always bright, always attractive, always romantic, always creating romance. But the moon always only creates romance one day a month. What fun is that? Only one day it's full moon, you get all kinds of romantic feelings. The rest of the month you sleep. But the full moon of Krishna's face creates romantic feelings whenever you see it, every day, every night. For the gopis, every night is full moon night. Even when Krishna was born, what day was it? Ashtami. The moon is very skinny. But the moon became full that day to celebrate, oh, Bhagavan Krishna has appeared in my dynasty, Chandra Vamsha. I'm excited, I'm thrilled, I'm happy, I'm busting, I'm blooming with happiness. So he made it a whole full moon that night. Full moon, to light up the whole world. Look, Krishna's appearing. So Vasudeva didn't have any trouble finding the footpaths crossing Yamuna. You could see like daytime. So bright. The brightest full moon that ever existed was the night of Krishna's birth. Sometimes they describe different types of moons in astronomy. There's something called blood moon, where the moon is red. It's not only when it rises, even after some time, it's up in the sky, for some time it's red, like blood. It's called blood moon. I don't know, there's some reason for that. But there's different, they even say, I think Shard Purnima, which is like August time, is it? Shard season. No, I'm saying Shard Purnima, I think it's Ashwin or August, September. It's before Kartik. Shard Purnima means Ashwin Purnima. Ashwin Purnima is a month before Kartik. There's also Shard Ritu also. So it's like fall time. It's like September before Kartik. It's called Shard Purnima, Shard Ritu, fall season. They say, the Acharyas say that's the brightest full moon of the year. So every year that's the fullest full moon. But this full moon when Krishna appeared was the fullest moon because of the fact of Krishna appearing in his dynasty. So, but Krishna's Maharaj says, the moon only rises at night, where Krishna's moonlight face is shining day and night. The moon wanes, gets smaller by the day. Krishna's face is increasing every moment according to the love of his devotee. The moon enhances the suffering of a girl separated from her lover. She becomes more suffering when the moon disappears more and more. But Krishna's face soothes the burning heart of a lover separated from Krishna. But in other words, when the moon gets smaller, when someone has a lover, they feel more, and they're separated, they feel more pain, more emotional pain, because the moon and women are kind of connected emotionally. So that's why the analogy is there. But Krishna's moonlight face, when a lover or gopi separated from Krishna because of different types of reasons, praying by Chaitanya, Man, or Pravasarag, or Gandhamathura Dwarka, by Krishna's Smaran, by remembering Krishna's moonlight face, Krishna Chandra, they feel some solace, some relief. So that full moon of Krishna is always available. Simply by remembering the full moon face of Krishna, you feel the soothing rays of his loving glance and the soothing rays of his cooling, reassuring glances of his eyes. So when the Virahini, which means Virahini, is like Vira means not being with the one you love, a separated lover. She remembers her moonlight face of Krishna. She becomes very blissful. So there's no comparison to Krishna Chandra, his moonlight face, and the moon itself. So Gopal Bhatta Goswami Doesn't say much, but he comments on this Mudita Mudita Bhakta Chandra Bimban. This mudita we mentioned yesterday. Mudita repeated, an adjective repeated twice is for emphasis. Means very satisfying. Mudita Mudita Bhakta. His face is satisfying, very satisfying. So, Gopal Bhatta describes the bliss of Krishna. This verse is talking about the bliss. He's saying that these two words, mudita, refers to two types of bliss in Krishna, which we already discussed in, where was it? Bhakti Sandarbha, I think. Srupananda and Shakti. What's it called? It says here. Srupananda and Srup Shakti Ananda. So what are they?
The bliss that comes from his own, and the bliss comes from serving, from the devotees who are
Yeah, the bliss that comes from Krishna's own form, Srupananda, he's like naturally blissful. Just his own body makes him blissful. But he gets more bliss when he distributes his bliss to others. When he gives bliss, which means Ladni Shakti, which means Bhakti, Bhav, and Prem, when he gives it to his devotees, and they offer seva back to him with love and devotion, that seva gives him more bliss than his own self-generated bliss. So that's called Srup Shakti Anand, because it's his Shakti giving him bliss in the heart of his devotee. Otherwise, it's a bliss in his own heart giving him happiness. And we have a phrase, it's a common phrase, naturally high. Some people get high by external means. Somebody else has to be with me to make me happy or high, or highly happy. Or some chemical or some drug or whatever. I take that and I get excited or stoned or high or drunk or whatever. But some people are naturally high. Naturally high because they have some, I don't know, just good karma. That's a fact. You know, in Jyotishi, there's many types of yoga you have according to your chart. One yoga is called Harsha Yoga. Harsha Shok. Shok means sad guy. Shok means unhappiness. Miserable. Some people are like that. Every time you see them, they look miserable. And when you're with them, they become more miserable. That's called Shok. But harsh means happiness. In other words, some babies are born with smiles. And some babies are born frowning. And for the whole life they frown. They come out frowning, they die frowning. That's a fact. I've seen so many like that. I can't understand what they're so upset about. Actually, the jivas are made of bliss, but they have to discover it. It's covered. It becomes uncovered by knowledge, surrender, and bhakti. Three things uncover the potential for bliss. It's called how do you say atomic? Anu. The Jiva Goswami says in Sandarbha. Huh?
Anand Abhas means
Anandadmika Anu, something like that. We have a potential to be blissful, but we don't have it. We have to get it by knowledge of bhakti and knowledge of Bhagavan, knowledge of our own identity, and by surrender and by practicing bhakti. Then that Ananda will manifest in us. That potential will become experienced. So that's Krishna's Maharaj describes these two types of bliss. And Ananta goes into a long discussion to describe all kinds of other happiness, different Anand in the mind, and Aishwaryanand and Manasanand. So there's a question asked, how is it possible that an atomic living entity like a jiva, which is just one Shakti of Bhagavan, what Shakti? Tatastha Shakti, one dot of consciousness, one atom of consciousness can actually give bliss to Bhagavan. What is the proof? So analogy is given by Jiva Goswami in Priti Sandarbha. How the infinitesimal atomic particle of consciousness was a Shakti of Krishna, Shakti, Swarup Shakti of Krishna. It's not Swarup Shakti, it's Tatastha Shakti, but it becomes imbued with Swarup Shakti when it adds bhakti to its constitution. So Tatastha Shakti Jiva always remains Tatastha Shakti. He or she never becomes Swarup Shakti, never becomes Ladini Shakti. It just gets mixed up. The analogy of Prabhupada uses is it's like iron rod. Iron rod is iron, you put it in a fire, it gets red hot, it acts like fire. But constitutionally, it hasn't changed. It's just adopted the qualities of fire. It's red like fire, it's hot like fire, it burns like fire. So that's Tatastha Lakshana, secondary characteristic. But Swarup Lakshana is that it's iron. So iron means Tatastha Shakti. And the secondary Shakti is Swarup Shakti surrounded. So we absorb that Swarup Shakti, absorb that Ladini Shakti, absorb that Samvit Shakti, become realized in wisdom and knowledge of Bhagavan, and we get to taste some of the bliss of Bhagavan, and we can give that bliss that we receive from Bhagavan through bhakti back to Bhagavan. So here's the analogy. A flute player blows air into the flute. That air emerges from the flute as sweet music, which delights everybody, including the flute player. In the same way, bhakti is the Ladini Swarup Shakti of Krishna. When Krishna places it in the heart of a devotee, then the devotee expresses it in the form of loving service, or Bhagavad Priti. It attracts Krishna to the maximum extent. So the air comes from the flute player. When it passes through the flute, it makes beautiful music that satisfies the flute player. But the music's coming from the flute, not the flute player. But he gave the energy. So the energy is the bhakti, Krishna's own Swarup Shakti, but he enjoys it when he gets to save and gets the love back. That's the analogy. Okay, so then the Gopis are the greatest devotees, so Krishna relishes their praying the most of all. Mukharita Venavilasi, he enjoys sporting pastimes, playing the flute, and enjoying of the Gopis. Now next verse 74. Nice word. Good. Okay, that's good. '74. Chapalya Sima Chapala Anubhavaka Sima Chaturya Sima Charanana Shilpa Sima Saurabhya Sima Sakala Adbhuta Kali Sima Saubhagya Sima Tadidam Braja Bhagya Sima. A lot of words Sima here. Sima, what do you know what it means? What does it mean?
Limit.
It means the apex, the zenith, the topmost point, the ultimate limit. So in other words, Krishna is the ultimate. Ultimate what? Ultimate everything. ultimate restless guy, ultimate blissful guy, clever guy, beautiful guy, fragrant guy, smells good, looks good. Yes, amazing. The ultimate pastimes, Avutakali, amazing pastimes, the limit of amazing pastimes. Sobhagi, he's very fortunate, makes other people fortunate. And he's the zenith of good fortune for Vrishvasis, doggies, monkeys, girls and boys. Radharani says, here is that Krishna, my very life. He is the zenith, pinnacle of fickleness. Chapal, we say chapal. Chapal means fickle. He's the ultimate end of existence for the fickle-minded gopis. He's the epitome of cleverness. He's a very, very clever fellow. He's the perfection of creation, perfection of all the creation of Brahma. He's the limit of smelling good. He's the best smelling guy in the universe. Everywhere. The limit of good fragrance. The embodiment of most astounding leelas, Advutakali. The culmination of good fortune, Saubhagya. The zenith of auspicity for Braj. Okay. We're having a good time because of Krishna. Let's see what we have here. So somehow, because this is all about rasa dance, many of these verses, somehow Bilamangal Thakur is having darshan, having sakshat darshan of Krishna and the gopis in the rasa dance. What does Krishna look like? So the gopis are having an experience of Krishna. Of course, he played the flute and called them for the rasa dance. And then he walked with them for some time and played with them, and then disappeared, took Radharani with him, and then left Radharani, then reappeared, and then reconciliated and said he was sorry, and they had a discussion about defining what is love, what kind of love are you, and Krishna appeased them and satisfied them. And they pacified them, and then there was pacification, there was union and breaking, and pacification and reunion and celebration. Celebration is the dance itself. So this, basically, what this verse is describing is what Radharani experienced. When you read Madhurya Kadambini, which I hope you have read, and especially the commentaries on Madhurya Kadambini by Ananta Babaji, which are in Bengali, Hindi, English, and Russian. It's a fantastic book by Vishwanath Chakravarti. It describes what? 9 stages of bhakti. Shraddha, Sadhusanga, Vajnakriya, Nartanivriti, Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhav, and Prem. So these are 9 steps to love, and then there's 7 more after that. So there's 16 stages to attain Krishna Vrindavan. After Prema, what is it? Sneha, Man, Pranaya, Rag, Anurag, Bhav, Mahava. So that 9 and 7 make 16. So they say there's 16 stages to attain Braja Prem for Radha and Krishna in Aprakat Dham, Goloka Vrindavan. So what stage are you on? Not bad. Sure? One honest guy in the crowd. A lot of posers. A lot of posers also. Oh, not me. I'm Ruchi. Nishta. I get up by 11 a.m. every day. Take rest at 8. That's good. So, in that book, I suggest you get the copy with Ananta. He describes the experience of prema. What you experience if you become, you do sadhana bhakti and pass through the coveted levels of nishta and ruchi and sakti and bhava and come prema. You're called jivan mukta now. You're living in a material body. You're a man, you're a woman externally, but you attain the consciousness of Krishna, full absorption, you're in Krishna prema. What's the first thing you'll experience with Krishna? What's the first sense that you'll experience Krishna with? Is it the ears? Is it the eyes, nose, mouth? What one? It's the eyes. You will see Krishna. The Rup Darshan. Sakshatkara Rup Darshan. You'll have Darshan of Krishna's form. What will happen?
Faint.
Anybody read the book? You ever read the book? You read it, but you forgot it. Yeah. You will faint. Murcha. And then what will happen? How will you revive? You see the fragrance of Krishna, the Saurabh. So first you'll see Krishna, then you smell the fragrance of Krishna and wake up. And then faint again. And then what will happen? Krishna will speak to you. Hey, listen, you're my loving devotee. If you keep fainting, how can we have love? How can we make love if you're fainting all the time? So now you fainted after smelling, so how Krishna wakes you up by speaking. And when you hear Krishna's voice, you faint again. Go murk, unconscious. Now how do you wake up? He touches you. Hey, come on. It's not that bad. Wake up, man. Like, how's your mother wake up for school? Hey, get up! You don't get up, then she pulls you out of the bed. Boink, you have to go, okay, I'm up. So touch. Then you touch, you wake up, and you faint again. And what does Krishna do then? So there's Rup Darshan, there's Saurabh, then there's Shabda, sound, and then there's Sparsha, touch, and then there's Rasam, taste. Krishna kisses you, or kiss your forehead, or kiss your cheek, or kiss your lips, or kiss some prasad. So this is the experience. So this verse is showing this. That first they see Krishna, and then they smell. It's the height of fragrance. So go we see Krishna. He calls them to the bank of Vamshivat in Vrindavan. They come to the banyan tree. They see him. Then they start to faint. Then they smell his fragrance, and they come to consciousness. So this verse is describing that, and the commentary is all about Ras Lila, basically. Okay. So Shukadeva Goswami describes Ras Lila in the 10th canto of Bhagavatam, chapter 29 through 33. It's called Rasa Panchadhyaya. Adhyaya means chapter. Panch means 5. 5 chapters of Rasa Lila. And he uses a verb. He doesn't say mita. He doesn't say shatamita, which means that Krishna was between a pair of gopis. He says pravishtena. Praveshtena means like Pravesh. We say Mandir Pravesh, Griha Pravesh, entering your house, entering the Mandir. It means that Krishna entered between two gopis. Therefore, we conclude that Krishna Rasadance was dancing in the center with Radharani, and then he entered very swiftly between two gopis, dancing expertly in a circle around Radharani. And then he would swiftly embrace every gopi and return to Radharani. Krishna was dancing faster than the speed of light. This is Vishwanath Chakravarti's commentary, Sarta Darshini, chapter 33, verse 20. How fast is light?
300 minutes per second. 8 seconds. 12.
I learned this in 5th grade. Sunlight goes at a speed of 186,000 miles a second. I don't know how many kilometers that is. 186,000 miles. So that's how fast Krishna was dancing, faster than that. I don't know, Sukadeva Goswami had speedometers. He caught it. Krishna did not manifest many forms. In single one form, he appeared as though as many. So that's when Narada Muni went to Dwarka, he saw Krishna in one form, accepted automatically. At the same time, 16,000 princesses and 16,000 different palaces. So Krishna's like fast operator. He can be with you in 1 second if you want. So this verse has all these chatur sima and chatur this and chatur that, and chaturya simas. So he's chaturya, which means expert. Krishna is such an expert dancer. The musical instruments were playing in unison and keeping a rhythm. And Krishna was dancing in the center with all his beauty. And the couples would come together and dance swiftly, swaying their bodies in amazing motions. They tapped their feet on the earth, and Krishna danced in the center with charming Radharani. Krishna danced expertly to the difficult beats. See, it's described in the commentary in Rasvila that Krishna and gopis are very playful. They're playing, the gopis are playing music. And so Krishna was dancing on the tal. Tal means the beat. So the gopis would deliberately try to change the beat to goof up Krishna. Instead of 5 beat or 6 beat, they play 10 beat. So you go da 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 da, boom, your foot to this. They go da da da. So they would try to speed up the tal to get Krishna confused and trip his feet. But Krishna could never be tricked. That's our boy. Gopis are nasty. They would try to make him trip a beat, and he wouldn't get tripped, and you look at him. I'm cool. You can't make me goof up. But sometimes, if Radharani would play, then he would goof up. It's like it's described when Chandravati would dance with Krishna. But of course, you don't want to hear about that, but please don't mind. She was always looking down at the ground. Why? Was she shy?
No.
So that she doesn't step on Krishna's feet.
She was always looking down at the ground because she was afraid she would step on Krishna's feet and make aparad. Whereas Radharani, well, when she was dancing with Krishna, where was she looking? Radharani's eyes were locked on Krishna's eyes. She was stepping on him all the time. To keep him humble. To let him know who's in charge. Let him know who's the boss. And he liked it. Just like sometimes the father has a daughter. And the daughter likes to hold the father's hand and step on his feet and have the father walk. Have you ever done that? The little kid, the little girl approaches the father and steps on his feet and holds his hands. He says, "Daddy, walk." And he walks. And she enjoys like anything. So it's actually offensive. Somebody stepping on you, it's not nice. But the father takes it as greatest love, greatest intimacy, greatest acceptance. Oh, my daughter has no formality. She's so intimate with me. She wants me to serve her like this. So that's how Krishna feels when Radharani steps on his feet. He's rusted. He's waiting for it. He's praying for it. When he goes in this temple in the morning, Krishna and Nandagram, his father has a temple in the house, in the palace. Who's the deity? Lakshmi Narayan. So when Krishna goes there, he prays, "Oh, Narayan, please let Radharani step on my feet tonight." I'd be so thrilled if Radharani steps on my feet tonight. So this is the intimacy of Radha and Krishna's praying. So that's why I said, Chaturya Sima. So now he talks about beauty. He says, Chatur Anana Shilpa Sima. Anana means face. Chatur means... Huh? Yeah, Chatur Anana. Chatur Anana Shilpa Sima. So it's a way of describing... Sanskrit is a very beautiful language. Like, for example, in Sanskrit language, when they describe sandalwood, sometimes they say Malaya Ja. Malaya Ja. Ja means Janma, means born from. Malaya means Malayan mountains. There's a group of mountains in South India called Malayan, Malaya Mountains. And on those mountains, sandalwood trees grow naturally. In old days, thousands of years ago, the mountains were covered with sandalwood trees, just like in Europe, some mountains are covered with pine trees. You know, pine trees grow on high mountains with needles, you know, called pine trees in English. So these mountains have chandan trees. So you can say Brahmaji, or you can say Pitamaha, which means the big father. Pita means father, and Maha means great. The great father, the father of all living entities, is Pitamaha, Brahma. Or you can say Chaturana. Anana means face, and Chatur means fort. You can't call your girlfriend Chaturana. You call her Dolanana. He's two-faced. That's a bad joke. I mean, girls could call a guy that also. Two-faced, you know what I mean? I don't think I have to explain that, but had direct experience. One face says, "I love you," and another face says, "Get lost," you know. Anyway, he has 4. So he doesn't know what he's doing. He's got 4 of them. So Shilpa means what? What is Shilpa Shastra? It's this Shastra that tells you how to build something. It's called architecture. The Shastra describes how to build a temple. Temple architecture, temple engineering is called Shilpa Shastra. So Sima, the zenith of architecture, the zenith of design of Brahma is Krishna. He's the pinnacle of artwork. It actually means design, construction, architecture. Expertise, Kshatriya, is the limit of expertise of Brahma's creative ability. Of course, it's just a poetic analogy because Krishna is not created by anyone. He's the creator of everyone. But it's just a poetic comparison. What time is it?
4:57.
Okay, let's see. Let me finish this verse. I'll read a few more. Almost finished. So Saurabhya Sima, Krishna described Krishna's the height of bodily fragrance. Now, what does this mean? This means we've had experience in this body as a sadhaka. We've had experience of Krishna's Rup Darshan in Murti. We had experience of Krishna's Shabda Darshan, his holy name. We had experience of Krishna's Saurabh Darshan, his Saurabh Sima, the limit of his fragrance and how. When we get Itara or perfume from the Thakurji, is that perfume or is that Krishna's fragrance? It's Krishna's fragrance. In the same way, when you take food, is that apple or is that prasadam? It's prasadam. Because why? Because it's mixed with Krishna's Adara Amrita. Adara means lips. Adar. Amrita means the nectar of his lips. He ate that apple, he ate that pakora, he ate that rice, he ate that dal, he ate that milk. You offered it to him with Tulsi. So we tasted his Krishna's rasam in prasadam. We tasted Krishna's shabda in holy name. We tasted Krishna's rupam with darshan. So what's that? Touch.
Worshipping the
Touch. You touch Krishna when we do puja. And then what else? That's it. Rupam, Gandha, Shabda, Sparsha, Rasam. So that's what is being described here. Okay, so what are we going through? Okay, so now we talk about Krishna's fragrance. So Shiva tells Parvati, as soon as Krishna touches anything, a wonderful and vast perfume comes into being. So any flowers or oil has fragrance because of Krishna's touch. So the oil, we offer this fragrant oil to Krishna, rose oil, sandal oil, and it becomes very fragrant and attractive. It's called Itara because Krishna smelled it and it touched his body, touched his nose. And his fragrance is now in that oil. So when you smell that oil, you're not smelling chandan or mogra or saffron, you're smelling Krishna. Saurabh Sima, the limit to zenith of the fragrance. So what do Rasik Jans say about the fragrance? Because Shiva told Parvati that the fragrance of a flower, the fragrance of fragrant oil comes from the touch of Krishna. What do we say?
comes from Radharani.
We say, when the Sakhis and Manjaris dress Radharani in the morning of Pratak Leela, 6 a.m. to 8:24 a.m. in Barsana or Yavat, they take off her petticoat, which means her slip under her sari. And when that drops on the ground, the fragrance of Radharani's petticoat gives fragrance to the earth. And anything that comes out of the earth smells like Radharani. So mogra flowers, rose flowers, kadamba flowers, parijat flowers, any flowers that are coming from the earth are actually fragrance of Radharani. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Good night. Prasad.